see them. I don't want to read everything out again. But first of all, just, let's be respectful and, let the environment just be welcoming, supportive. There's no stupid question anywhere. So if you have any question and you feel like you don't care about something that someone said, please put it in the chat box. There's no stupid question here. Also, please, let's be mindful of other participants. Keep your microphone muted, just so we won't have interference and all these things. Also, engage actively. Please use the emojis and everything so I can know you're following me. And also, not just me, but like the people that we're speaking as well. Also, if you want to say anything, if at any point, you want to raise your hand, you want to say anything, please use the raise hand function. Don't just unmute yourself and everyone will just scatter. Also, today is about celebrating women in machine learning. So we would like to keep the discussions around that. Also, don't just you see the ground rules are long. So please, you can read them yourself. And just, keep in mind that we have these rules just to ensure that everywhere is, welcoming. We have a nice session today and it's not just anyhow. All right. So this is our agenda today. I'll be giving the welcome and opening remarks in a bit. Yeah. And then the theme context, I will also be taking that. But the name you see there, in case you don't know, that's my leader, Ifio. And then we'll be having our keynote speakers. They now come up. And for icebreaker and games, I actually don't have game. I don't have any game, but I do have plans to get to know, those of us that are here today. Sorry, mute. All right, thank you so much. And then we'll be having Montserrat come up to take a session. And then finally, the fireside chat with Hilary. And then that'll be all for today. So like I said, the one rule that I want you all to remember, two rules, the one about being muted and the second one about engaging. Please feel free to engage. Use the chat box, use the emojis, use the reactions, use everything. Let's make this session interesting. So it's not just like somebody's talking, everybody's just listening and, it's just like dry. Okay. And so, like I said, I'll be taking the welcome, and there isn't really much to say, but I just want to officially welcome you all to this International Women's Day celebration brought to you by Machine Learning Lagos. And for those of us that are new here, ML Lagos is a community built around one simple idea. So we want to learn better together, and we're a space for building, exploring, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in AI. And we're a Google affiliated community as well. So a lot of the things we explore is grounded in Google's AI products and technologies. So our theme today is build, deploy, and transform women driving AI forward. And I personally love this theme because it's very honest. It's not just about the ideas, about like the actual work that they are doing, the research, the engineering, and all of those very interesting things. So over the next 2 hours, you'll be hearing we have 3 main speakers today. We have Montserrat, we have Hilary, and we have Zainab. And they'll be sharing their journeys. Like I said, please ask questions. I hope to be inspired. I'm already inspired, but feel free to ask questions. So if you're a researcher, engineer, you're a student, or you're just curious, you belong here. You are very, very, very welcome. So thank you all for being here, and let's move forward. All right, and so I'll be expanding a little bit more on the context, so on the theme. And so our theme captures the complete journey of AI development and the work women are doing at every stage. So there is build, which is like writing code, training models, designing system, and creating the foundations of AI. There is deploy, moving from notebooks to production. So it's not just like, trying to just, I hope you all understand what that means, but like shipping systems that actually work in the real world. And then there is transform, which is like creating real impact through AI. So yeah, so that's our theme for today. And the International Women's Day theme is actually give to gain. And it's the idea that through collaboration, knowledge sharing, and community, we can all move forward faster. So our focus today is the technical work and the honest conversations about what it takes to do this technical work. And so I hope that you're all here ready to be inspired, to learn, and also to just connect with people as well. So like I said, you see that chat box, very, very, very important. Use it. All right. Okay, so very shortly we'll be bringing up our keynote speaker. But like I said, just to be sure you're all still like with me, can I see some reactions or whatever? Anything? Okay, thank you. I can see more, some more. I'm sure I can have some more. All right. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing different names. Thank you. Okay, don't worry. If you're wondering if I have not why I've not asked people to introduce themselves, like the audience, don't worry, we're still going to have time for that. But for now, let's start with our keynote speaker. So Zainab, you can take the stage. Thank you.
Hello, thank you very much, Musola, for having me here, and generally the Machine Learning Lagos team. Can you guys see me and hear me? Okay. First, let me share my screen. Like, I am also so excited. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, like, oh my God. Okay. So, sorry, 1 second. Okay. So hello, everybody. Good morning. It's an honor to be here to speak with everybody in Machine Learning Lagos. Like, I've been following this community on Twitter for a while, and I really love it because it's more like encouraging people to do actual stuff, to build things and all. If you don't follow them on YouTube, by the way, like, please subscribe to their channel. They have a lot of cool talks and all. So it's really amazing to be here. So let's get into our keynote. Today, I will be talking about building equitable. By the way, sorry to interrupt. If you feel like I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. I know I do speak fast sometimes, so just let me know. So today, we'll be talking about building equitable AI for the local global context, which is like solving problems for your neighborhood and then scaling for the world. So I'm going to introduce myself, but not yet. Let me just like give a quick abstract for my talk. So generally on social media, like Twitter, everybody is building AI tools like LLMs, what you have, not visual language models, everything. But I feel like we would have more fun or have more results if we try to solve problems that affect our daily life, like the local friction points you encounter every day. You wake up in the morning, you have to take the bus, just like general things. I feel like it's more interesting and more valuable to solve problems like that. So I'm going to try to explain and motivate everybody to do stuff like that. So my talk is kind of split into 3 parts: the global noise. We know generic models are built on like a lot of data sets, but most of them are Western or have some kind of features that we don't really have in our low resource environment, LMICs and all of that. So there's a kind of local gap we have to fix. For example, it can be in agriculture, fintech, healthcare, finance, everything. Like the way things work in different environments are quite different. So when you're building something, you have to consider this gap. Then the scaling path. When you consider this gap, how do you make it work at scale? How do you ensure it solves your problem, but also works fine for everybody else? So I'm going to start with this quote: credential and degrees have their place, but they are not a requirement to learn about the impacts of technology. You don't need a PhD to make a difference. So when I started becoming interested in machine learning, it felt like everybody was super smart and I was just an undergrad. I don't know if anybody else felt like this. Because when you come to these communities, when you interact with everybody, some people have their PhDs, some people are like, have presented at like millions of conferences and like, oh my God, how do I start? You're learning the beginning, the stuff at the beginning, and you're like, you just feel overwhelmed and kind of like an imposter. So this is something I just want to quickly mention. Like, yes, I feel like this. I think everybody feels like this. But now that we have Gen AI tools and like access to easy, fast information, I feel like it doesn't matter. Anybody can build anything. You can wake up this morning and be like, oh, I want to solve this problem. And you don't need a PhD to do it. Like, you barely even need a master's these days. So I just want to firstly encourage everybody, like, if you are still in this stage, you're probably asking the wrong question. Maybe focus on, do I love what I want to do? Do I have interest in like ML and stuff? Is there something I want to? And that way you can be able to make a real difference rather than chasing like papers and degrees and all of that. So who am I? I have been talking since, like, what am I even doing here? So let's go honestly. I kind of consider myself as somebody who loves to solve problems, like things that cause friction, let's try to solve them. And one of the ways I did this is this playing? Oops, 1 second. Okay, let me mute this. So sometime on Twitter, I think it was like in January, someone tweeted like, oh, I always have problems using my laptop. Like I have to squint and stuff. I wish somebody could build something that could zoom in for me. And I did this during the weekend and I tweeted about it, shared it on LinkedIn, and everybody was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I did get a few users, by the way, from I think like the US, North America, and African countries. So I like to see myself as a problem solver. I identified this problem, recognized the need, and I shipped it. It was really amazing. So speed and empathy is something I really place a lot of importance on. And next, I'm going to talk about Unitext. This is actually something I built just for myself. I've probably not even tweeted about it. So I write a lot of documentation and ML-based stuff, which has a lot of math, you know. And if you write on platforms like Medium, Hashnode, you know, they don't support LaTeX like natively. So I wrote a small Chrome extension that works in these kind of environments, just like plug it in, you can convert to Unicode and solve anything. And I launched this on the Chrome Web Store, and surprisingly, quite a few people have been using it. Like this is a screenshot of the Google Analytics page for this week. I took this yesterday. And it was amazing because I built it for myself and I was just like, oh, I would like to be able to use it on my laptop and on my tablet. So I launched it on the store. A couple of people who had the same problem found it and began to use it too. So what does this mean? Like if you come across a problem, you might think, oh, it's unique to me. Maybe it's not a big deal. But when you solve it or when you kind of bring up a discussion about it, you come across people who are struggling with the same thing. In a way, you can kind of like build a community to solve a problem. So all you have to do is maybe wake up in the morning. I have something I'm dealing with. It can even be like catching the bus. Like I have a friend here who loves to sleep. Like when we have a class in the morning at 9 o'clock, it's always like, oh, okay, maybe if I sleep for like the next 5 minutes, I can make the bus. Am I sure? Am I sure? And he builds a really small tool that tells him like, okay, the bus is at this stop. If you sleep for the next 5 minutes, you can make it next 10 minutes and all of that. So I love and I encourage people to build practical stuff like this because one, it's fun. When you work on fun things, you are more motivated, you are able to share when you talk about it, like it's exciting and stuff like that. And you're also able to solve problems for others because that little boss tool he uses, I use it too now. A bunch of people in our class use it too. And it's a way to find people like you. So now this tool I built is being used like so many people, like in different countries, Germany, France, Japan. Like I have never been to these places, but they use my tool. Like, wow, okay, that's nice. But how did I get here? Like now I'm giving a talk. You guys might have thought, okay, I've always been like confident and stuff. No, I'm not going to sell like false vibes and all of that. I used to be a really shy person when I started my undergrad. You know, I was like, okay, I love tech, but like, what exactly do I want to do? I started with software engineering. I did a bunch of like legal tech stuff, but I still had to find myself. And it's one thing I encourage others to do. Like, there's no rush. Why you might feel like, oh, AI is taking our jobs, all of that. Calm down. Take a while to discover who you are. What am I interested in? It could be like healthcare, because I love healthcare. I do like health tech, all of that. So maybe that's your interest. It could be finance, it could be education, it could be anything. So when you discover what you are really passionate about, you can be able to put some energy, find your community, and just like build cool stuff. And next, if you love research, and maybe not even research, just building in general, like you have to understand the problem you are solving. Like maybe you train a model to do something. What does it do? Can you explain it to others? Is it like reproducible? Because when you know what exactly you are working with, you are able to add upgrades and updates and all of that based on your needs and eventually your users' needs. So I work in a research lab, and this is actually something I do a lot. Also, I do teach some undergrads in my university. I teach courses like computer programming, and I used to teach database programming. So one thing I love is also passing knowledge to others. Like, it's not enough to just know something. Can you pass it to somebody else? Yesterday on Twitter, I came across this tweet of someone saying he just discovered the Rayman hypothesis stuff. And I left a comment like, yes, this is why I encourage people to share whatever they know, no matter how trivial it might seem to you, somebody else does, you know. Because the person who tweeted this is someone really like high up in the fintech area, but they still have like a lack of knowledge in other fields. For example, let's say I know A, you know B. When we exchange knowledge, we're able to build better together and faster. So outside the lab, I would do some volunteer work, which the same thing applies, love to teach others, love to impart knowledge, and love to build cool things. And I love to travel too, but like that's not. So now, what should you even build? I'm going to use 2 case studies on stuff I have worked on. So my first one is sepsis. In the past semester, I kind of worked on sepsis detection and all of that. And a funny question people also always ask is, what is sepsis? It's kind of a simple question, but it's not, because it's just like when the human body starts destroying itself based on an infection and whatever. I'm trying to make this less technical. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. But when we talk about sepsis, like, yes, we have a lot of data sets. We know a lot about sepsis. And actually, sepsis is actually the leading cause of death in Nigerian hospitals. There was a study in Lagos at a hospital in Bagada, I think, that found that when people have sepsis, they don't really go to the hospital directly. First, they go to the pharmacy, they try antibiotics, they try like traditional remedies for a week and all of that. By the time they come to the hospital, they are critically ill. And in normal data sets, when you have like some sepsis thing, sepsis doesn't just start. It's kind of like a timeline. First, the patient is in the hospital, maybe they have a headache, then it progresses and all of that. And you're able to track all this like time-dependent data. But when you try to apply the same knowledge in the Nigerian context, because the patient doesn't come immediately to the hospital, we have some kind of missing stuff. So how do you transfer this general problem to the Nigerian context, to the local gap? It's stuff you have to consider. And also, yes, what this means in Nigeria, patients come after 1 week. We don't have like a centralized database of treatment plans and other stuff you can easily cross-check. And we also have some doctor shortages. Why does this matter? This comes into explainable AI. So when you train a model, you always have to tell like, okay, what does this model focus on? What are we talking about? And after my research last semester, I was really excited. I was able to actually test my model in a real life hospital. It was my first time actually deploying a real ML model, like healthcare model. And it taught me a lot, because there I was able to understand like, okay, it's amazing. We built a nice model. It had like 0.9 area under precision recall curve. When you're learning the theory, it's like, yes, amazing. That's what you want in the model: accuracy, recall, F1 score. Nice. But what does our model focus on? So when we started using it together with the doctors, we realized like, okay, so our model actually learns the patterns of the doctors. For example, let's say you go to the hospital, I have a fever, my temperature is this, I'm coughing, like my red blood count is this and that. The doctor gives you something, but the fact that the doctor gives you something is also a signal. We call it like the is it behavioral signal? Yes, we have like the physiological signal, which is the what's going on in your body, all of that. And then we have the behavioral, which is from the behavior of the doctors. But when you consider Nigeria, we already know patients don't seek care immediately. There's like some kind of delay. Maybe somebody is going to work and they're like, okay, I feel sick, but I don't feel sick enough to skip work for this. Like even when they decide to go to work, do they have time? Do they have like the resources to get to the hospital? When they get to the hospital, when they have to do all their like health insurance stuff, triage, there's usually a really long line. So we have all these like delays that affect how we get our data. And what do these delays cause? They cause another delay, which means like when we have the signal from our doctor is also delayed because the doctor has already missed a lot of things in the past. So you are kind of seeing the gap between a general, like real, I don't want to say real life, like idealized machine learning model version, because normally you just expect like, oh, a patient is sick, they come to the hospital, voila, you predict, okay, sick, not sick, and stuff like that. But in the real world, there are some kind of nuance that we kind of forget to consider. So this experience actually led to me proposing an analysis. We call it the prediction detection gap for lower income countries or lower resource environments. How do we separate the prediction of when we have sepsis or not, or the behavior of doctors? This work actually has been submitted for review at a journal, so I hope to share a bit about it later, but for now I can't. So let's go to the global noise. which is what I said already. Generic models, we already know they learn from how the doctors react. Like, not just what's in your body, like what's in the clinician's mind, what does the doctor think? Because doctors, that's their specialty. Like, yes, we're training a model, but the doctor knows best, as it's always said. But like in different environments, we usually have this contextual gap. We have some missing features due to the uniqueness of the problem, where you're going to deploy it. So some patients have some symptoms that come and go. They forget to even tell the doctor sometimes, and we lack some past data that our model might be paying attention to. But like healthcare might be so complicated. You're thinking like, okay, like, so I'm going to give another example of fintech, like financial health tech. Maybe it's a bit more relatable. So last month or 2 months ago, there was a challenge on Zindi Africa, which I assume a few of you know. It was to predict the financial health of businesses in Southern Africa. So they had like Eswatini, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. The way this works is you have some information about the business owner's age, access to credit, stuff like that. When you have this problem, what's the first thing you think? Even without any domain knowledge, you think like, okay, if I was a business person, I would believe my business is in the green if I'm motivated to work, if I have like business insurance, maybe, if I have credits, access to loans, if I have a mobile phone, marketing and all of that, which worked perfectly. It worked perfectly for countries like Eswatini, Malawi, Zimbabwe. However, even in this niche region of Southern Africa, there was still a gap. Lesotho had a data problem, and we realized like 10% of medium and small businesses in Lesotho only had formal credits, just 10%. And even within this 10%, there's also some kind of missing data. Some businesses are having some kind of bias. Some businesses don't get enough credits. They don't have access to facilities. They don't even have history. So when you want to build a model that can generalize for everybody, for like both the ideal situation and the out of bounds situation, how do you solve this kind of problems? How you solve it is not particularly important. Of course, it's important, but why you should solve it is something that you should always have at the back of your mind. Because when you deploy a model into the real world, your model has to be better than the existing solutions, or at least that's how my professors here talk about it. Because let's say everything is done manually, like in the 1900s, I don't know, you have a good problem, and then you train a model. It takes time, it takes compute, it takes all of that. So you are investing resources to improve prediction or whatever your problem is, classification, I don't know. So you have to give a more than good enough solution to the problem, right? So you want it to work everywhere for everybody, no matter the variations in like features, in biases, I don't know. Recently, I think there's a startup working on skincare on Twitter, and the owner also mentioned something similar. They train models for the face, and then they notice like people with dark spots are kind of like having some lower performance on the performance metric. So we do have to consider people, because like dark spots is a really common skin condition, right? So how do we fix this kind of problems? One way I use is using synthetic data, and it was actually kind of easy to use. You guys probably know Vertex AI, which is by Google. And it's a really simple way to just like write a prompt, and you can generate synthetic data that follows the statistical rules and patterns of your actual data. So this is a way to ensure nobody is left behind. What we did for Lesotho was to just impute and generate the missing features and all of that. Of course, there are trade-offs. If you want to go technical, there are different ways to implement this. There are different ways to fix this. But it's the same principle we added to our sepsis problem. When the patients come, we have to guesstimate what has happened. So we're able to generate these past scenes and past scenarios. Like, okay, the patient came now. They said they've been sick for 3 days. What could they have actually worked through? Like maybe they had a fever 2 days ago. Maybe they had like a headache, something going on. And when you move to production, you do see the difference between just maybe you delete some missing rows, delete some missing instances because, okay, the data is really bad. But when you try to fill in those gaps, you do see the improvements, and you do see how your model becomes better and can provide a better service to everybody. So I kind of see this as some kind of engineering bridge from the global generalized ideal scenario to the more local and context specific problem solving. Now, another thing I want to talk about is proximity as a technical advantage. What does this mean? I said you want to solve a problem, but who are you solving for? I said I encourage people to solve problems around them. For example, my friend who wanted to sleep a lot. So pick a problem. It could be anything. Like you could be interested in anything, agriculture, fintech, whatever. But pick a problem where you are close to your user or even where you are your user. Because when you're your user, you can understand the hidden pain points. For example, I'm building a skincare tracking app. I want to know how my skincare routine affects my face and all of that. I know, okay, I have acne. Sometimes, based on the time of the month, my skin looks this way. I have some dark spots. Sometimes my face is puffier. That way, I can understand like it's not just an ideal straight line thing you measure. You know how it varies. Speak to other people like, oh, you want to use this? How could it help? It really influences how you develop your problem, how you know how to evaluate if your model is good enough, if your solution is good, if it works, and use it to track how you evaluate your design. Actually, like evaluation metrics is really important. So speak to your users, speak to people who have like similar interests as you. It also just doesn't have to be similar, you know, because you learn a lot from everybody, no matter what they're doing and all of that. So proximity to your user, speak to them anywhere, everywhere, Twitter, face to face, in your community. When you deploy also, because when we deployed our sepsis model, we did also speak to doctors like, okay, what do you think about it? How is it going? Is there anything you think? Is there anything you wonder? Because even when you explain your problem-solving methodology to others, it does make you realize like, oh, maybe I forgot this. You can get their own opinion because remember, we are tech people and sometimes we get so involved in solving the problem that we are not able to take a step back to have like a general holistic view of everything. And like I said, the principle doesn't just stop at healthcare. Whatever you're building, it's the same. Like I work in clinical AI, but a lot of you do like different things. For example, agriculture, this is something I'm really optimistic about. There are a bunch of agro-tech communities, like startups rather. I think Kitovu is one of them. Because I don't know if you guys know, but in Nigeria, 80% of our food and all of that suffers from erratic rainfall. It rains like massively this month, next month is dry. We have pest and all of that, the insecurity problem. So maybe AI can be used to augment how we solve our food problem. And we say like, when you build tools, you have to understand the realities, like seasonal income. How is a farmer? A farmer probably has like a lower budget phone because sometimes people build solutions where you can scan the fruits, the leaves to know if it's infected or not. So when you are the farmer, you understand like, okay, a farmer is going to walk like through the farm, do this, do that. He's going to be scanning. Does he have the time to scan it really fast? All of that. So when sometimes we just do like transfer learning, which is amazing. When you have the already pre-trained model, maybe from like Iowa, which is a really good food production state in the US, but you can't just like plug and play, you know, you do need to consider this contextual gaps and all of that. So it could also be in education. For example, like people do a lot of cool stuff in education, scanning notes. What else? Like we have this tool, what's it called? Notebook LM, which is really amazing for notes. So they probably have like actual students they speak to, they do some trials, they do some tests with them, so they are able to understand like, who is this actually for? Who is your customer? Who are you solving your problem for? How do your users communicate? Where do students hang out? Speak to them if you are not the ideal user. How would failure look like for them? For example, someone tries your product for the first time and like, okay, it's okay, but they never open it again. Like my Unitext extension, I've actually spoken to a few of my users. Like first, they actually did write to me like, oh, we would like to do something and so on and so on. At first, I was like, oh my God, real users, amazing. But then I was able to speak to them and improve, you know? You don't just build something and stop there. You keep iterating, you keep improving. And that is, what's it called? ML, deployment and all of that. I've forgotten the right term. And yes, so when you know how failure looks like for the users, are you able to measure it? How do you measure it in your metrics and all of that? So lastly, we're going to talk about community as a technical requirement. It's not enough to say, okay, I want to build this, I'm solving this just by yourself. Okay, amazing. But like social media is already like a real-time research and development lab. You have different communities tweeting, we have this, we have there's this Hack Health community also doing amazing stuff. If you do healthcare AI, I don't know about the other ones, but like when you have these meetups, you can use it as peer review. Come sit around, like, what do they call it? Exchange your thoughts, exchange your ideas. Somebody can be like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Have you tried this? Like when you're curious, you can find like-minded people who are also motivated. And like I said, you guys don't have to be working on the exact same thing. Like some of my best ideas have actually come from the finance line. For example, when I was solving my sepsis problem, I tweeted a lot about it last semester. I remember coming across this like accountant, with all the titles, ACA, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really understand them. And I saw one of their Twitter, I was like, oh my God, I could implement this on my problem. And we did have like a quick Twitter discussion. And it's made me realize, yes, you can transfer knowledge from different domains. So everybody comes to a community with their different strengths, their different knowledge. Like, don't be shy. Like, I was shy. Like, I know how it is to be shy, but I promise you, the only barrier to solving your problem as a shy person is embarrassment. What's the worst that can happen? You ask somebody first day, like maybe they don't reply or they don't reply like favorably. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Try again another time. Like you can try 3 times. It's not the end of the world. Like on Twitter, I see a lot of people say like, oh, they've emailed like 50,000 people, just as an example, and they got like 10 replies back. That's a huge amount. You can imagine how they felt while getting the no's and no's, but they did get a yes. So think of it like this, like when you want to bounce off ideas or bounce ideas off other people, it's fine if you don't get like an instant yes or right. It's fine. It's part of life. Another thing is you can write to clarify your ideas. These days, everybody is probably motivated to just like use AI tools, right? Amazing. You can probably use this like proofread and all. But I find like when you write your ideas and your thoughts and roadmap one by one, you do get some kind of clarification. When you also share this to others, they also share their ideas. Like we have Medium, Hashnode, Substack, even anywhere. Trust me, writing is amazing. You are able to build your own community. And the major technical advantage is distributed research and development. You are working on your idea and somebody is interested. They see your together, like, oh, let me try this out. They try out their own idea and they come and tell you like, oh, this works, this doesn't work. Now you have 2 brains working on one project, like real fast. You make friends, everything goes faster. You're able to move from idea to deployment super fast. So use social media as like real-time lab environments. If you're able to attend meetups, please try. Like showing up in person really matters. It really helps. Like here, I live in a quiet student city actually, but I do try to travel to places with a bunch of meetup and all of that. Just try to give that extra push. And I promise it's going to be worth it. If you're shy, take the risk. Even if you're not shy, like try to be a bit of a risk taker. What's the worst that can happen? They're not going to come to your house to beat you guys. Trust me, I would know. So share on social media, try to build your community. It doesn't even matter if you're just like tweeting to the void. Recently, I started a YouTube channel where I try to like share my learnings, even though I'm not consistent in it, but like, I think it was maybe December, somebody wrote a really nice comment like, oh, I didn't know about this. And I was like, yes, you can do this, you can do that. So the person is also like educated, they learn something new. And it also makes you feel happy, because I don't know, I really love when I can impart knowledge in others. Like, I don't know if this is just specific to me, but it's amazing. It's really lovely. So thank you very much for coming to my talk. You can find me on everywhere as this username. So if anybody has any questions, I can take them now.
All right. Thank you so much, Zainab. That was really, you dropped like a wealth of knowledge. Please, can we just like celebrate? celebrate. Some more. I see that we're more on the call now. Yes, thank you. Awesome. So as you were speaking, I was really taking notes to be fair. And I'll just like to repeat some things that stood out to me. I mean, when you started, you said something about like just starting out in machine learning and, feeling like everybody has gone far. I can relate on a very, very deep level. And so if there's anyone here who's feeling that way, know that you're not alone. And then the second thing that you said about just like being a problem solver by nature, do you get just, not approaching things, looking for avenues to actually solve problem for people and for yourself as well. I think that's really important. And one thing I loved about a lot of the things that you said, you seemed like extremely user focused, like just getting feedback, understanding, what your solutions are doing for people, how we can improve. I think that that's really beautiful as well. Before I continue, I want us to use this time as I speak. Just if you have any questions for Zaina, please just drop it in the chat or raise your hand. So, like once I stop talking, you can ask your questions from her. So either of the two, if you want to speak, you can raise your hand. If you want to ask questions, you can just drop it in the chat. I have one question though, if nobody wants to ask. So yes,
Okay.
back to a few points that I just like noted. Another thing that you said was, just like using social media. And I think it's kind of similar to a lot of things that people say, like build in public. And the way you presented it it reminded me of like the importance of doing that, stress testing your ideas, things like that. And also writing. You guys write. Don't let AI do all your writing for you. Like she said, it'll help make you, think through ideas better. And I think the last thing that I just loved that you said was, what's the worst that can happen? Actually, like, what's the worst that can happen? Do that thing that you've been wanting to do, put your ideas out there, reach out to people, send those emails. What's the worst that can they beat you? Most likely not.
Exactly.
All right. So nobody's raising up their hand. People.
Okay, if nobody has a question, I just want to quickly mention something. Like
Yes,
I
please.
kind of gave out the idea that I am user focused, and I think this is based on my personality. But some people aren't. So when you know your strengths and weaknesses, you can easily kind of patch them up. If you're not user focused, that's fine. Maybe you meet somebody else who is, and you're able to both merge your strengths. Maybe you are amazing at idea development, they are better at speaking to other people, somebody else is good at ML ops. When you build your community, when you build people around you, everybody can leverage their own strengths and weaknesses, and that's way better than just going alone. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like she said, this was something I should have done at the start. I guess I was too excited to listen that I did not introduce her well enough. She mentioned something about her YouTube channel, and I will share my screen just so you can see the actual name of the YouTube channel and go and check and go and subscribe. Like she said, you will learn a lot. Okay, so we have one hand up. Okay, so Peace, you can go ahead and just like unmute yourself.
Hi everyone. Hi Olubusolami. Hi Zainab. Thank you so much for the amazing session. And I mean, this is my first time joining an ML program. I just saw this on Ifian status. Apologies if I didn't get that name correctly. And I'm like, okay, I need to join this because I have so much interest in research. And as a data engineer in the making, right? I've always wanted to learn about research. So your session was really great, especially where you talked about agriculture, especially climate tech kind of related. I did a research on climate tech sometimes last year, and that kind of like ignited my interest in research more, especially in agriculture. So it's been all about learning how can I be a part of this ecosystem, especially when it comes to climate and agriculture. I did my research and I realized that how rainfall variability has affected production of crops, especially cassava, in specific regions in Africa and Osun State. And that research exposed me to how much we can do in terms of technology to help a lot of people, a lot of local and climate solutions and how they can implement this. So I think not a question, but I think I would just like to say that I'm much interested in this field, climate tech and research, basically. And the question I would like to just follow up is that what the communities available, do you know of communities available specifically to these solutions or research organizations that are looking for interested people like myself who want to join? I mean, your session was very use case focused, and I really, really do enjoy it. So if there are any recommendations or a roadmap that you think would be great for me to kind of like look towards, that would be very great. But all in all, I just want to say thank you for such an amazing and insightful session, Zainab. I look forward to collaborating or connecting with you more and learning from your platforms. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I love that question. Like, okay, I'm interested in something, but how do I actually get in and make impact, right? It goes all back to reaching out to people. Like, let me give an example. In fall of this year, in like September, I would be starting at a lab somewhere in Europe. And actually, how did I get there? How did I get that opportunity? I've recently become interested in Alzheimer's and like MRI scans and all of that. But I do read a lot. I'm like, okay, I do this paper, I try to implement and stuff. But I was also like, okay, I've been reading, like, I want to do something now, you know. So I did kind of reach out to different companies, like different labs, different places I want to work. And in Nigeria, it works the same. You might think like, oh, people don't read their emails. Yes, but you just have to be persistent, like persevere. Like I know of a few universities that you can send emails to. I think Redeemers does that because I did write to them once for genomics and stuff, and they were open. So I think your best shot now would be probably to tweet about it, like who does climate tech and stuff. I think there's even one topic, one company, Mira or something. Let me write it in the messages. Mira. I'm not sure if that's the name, but like if you check on Twitter, there's probably something like that. Send them a cold email, like, and when you even want to send them, like tell them like, oh, I'm interested in this. This is what I have. This is what I can bring. This is what I want to learn. Like, show your value, show your real, genuine love, like interest. Like, of course, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to talk to you with like pink glasses or what do they talk about it? Like, yes, it doesn't always work, but just try. Also build things. People are more attracted to people who have evidence. Like they said, show workings, show evidence. It's not enough to just talk. So like you like climate tech, maybe tweet about it, do some projects. For example, this my Squint Zoom project, the one of like zooming in and out. I posted it on LinkedIn and I got so many weird DMs. Like even my professor brought it up in class one time. I was like, oh, okay, people actually see stuff. So like, don't be shy, talk about it. Like maybe tag a few people so they can retweet and all of that. And maybe somebody will be interested. From there, you get a DM. Maybe you can even start your own thing. Maybe even like speaking to people in real life, you know, like maybe people like stakeholders, people would use this product. Like you can just deploy something really small, somebody tries it and they're like, oh no, it really works nice. And from there you can build your own user base and all of that. And when it's time to move somewhere, you're like, okay, I have this product, people are using it, I learned this, I've learned all of that. So generally it's about putting yourself there. Create a lovely website, share what you're into, talk about it, show evidence. That's really important because like these days sometimes people just want to like, you know, like what's, you know, when there's nothing on that, people would realize, you know. So I hope that answers your question good enough.
All right. Okay, thank you so much.
That was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Peace, for raising your hand, for opening the floor. So I can see that we have someone else as well. That's Tobiloba. So Tobiloba, please unmute yourself.
Hi everyone. Good day. I hope I'm allowed to ask a question. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So thank you very much, Zainab, for your session. It was super informative. Really, really loved it. Also based on the fact that there was some bit of healthcare in it. So I'm Adebayo, recent medical graduate. So I could really, really relate with some of the things you were talking about. Though, like Olubusolami said, being in the AI space now feels like everybody has gone and I'm just starting. So it's so so yeah, back to the sepsis thing you spoke about. I just wanted to ask, you mentioned there were some gaps when you try to probably use it in probably low developed communities. I just wanted to ask, using synthetic AI and some other plugs you try to use, as the performance sort of improved, or have you been able to get like a positive results in those areas? And also, is there like a paper on it or some writing that I could just read up to get more familiarized with what you did? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we did see some improvements in performance. I don't know if I mentioned that. We did. And it also helped us understand a bit more about what the model focuses on, because we saw like, yes, the model has bad performance when we are missing like past data, but like we're thinking, is this performance based on the missing physiological signals like red blood cell, temperature, what do they talk about, like plasma in the blood, all of that? Or is it based on how the doctor would have reacted to these past events? And synthetic data helped a lot, but it also helped us understand what our model focuses on. And yes, there is a paper, but actually I just submitted it to a journal 2 days ago. I don't know if I can share with you guys yet. I wanted to share a preprint, but my advisor was like, I don't know. So I would probably share an abstract or like an extended abstract. Let's say April 1st, I will tweet about it because I still have to like consult my advisor because we did write the paper together. But yes, synthetic data and all of that, it really helps performance, but it also depends on how you apply it. Like, yes, we have different tools to solve different problems, but like I said, you do need to really understand what method you're doing. Like, that's part of research. It's not just enough to be like, okay, I know this, Gemini, implement this for me, blah, 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 and you're sleeping. Like, okay, yes, amazing. But when you have to audit what you're doing, audit your model, present to the relevant stakeholders, you need to know what exactly is going on. So with synthetic data generation, like I mentioned, you use prompts. You have to know how to write good prompts to ensure the statistics fits exactly what you're doing. There's a company that actually releases synthetic data sets, Electric Sheep Africa. You guys can find them on Hugging Face and Twitter. So they are really good at stuff like this. If you want to experiment with synthetic data, like they claim, because I don't work there, you know, like they claim to have everything like according to the WHO, UN data, like history, statistics. So yes. I would share my abstract next month, hopefully. So let me take notes so I don't forget. I hope that answers all the questions, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Toby. Thank you, Peace, for asking questions. And thank you so much, Zainab. I've learned so much. Like, can we all just like clap or whatever? You please use the emojis, reactions. Thank you so much. Had such a great time. So I will share my screen now. And this was something that, okay, yes. So I should have read this earlier, but I guess I was too excited. My apologies. But what I really want us to take note of is our YouTube channel in the last paragraph, Zay's Neural Notes. So she has mentioned this several times. So please go ahead, check it out, and leave a comment or two. All right.
Let me also say something. Sorry.
All right.
Like, I try to make my content because like I said, I don't really make a lot of videos these days, but I try to make it based on what people want to learn about. So if there's something you're curious about in healthcare, AI, whatever, shoot me a DM, shoot me a message. I would make a video for you. Trust me.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Zainab. So we've come to the end of the keynote section of today. And now we'll be moving forward. And yes, we'll be moving forward to like a short section between, the other speaker. But now it says icebreaker games. I don't have any game, I'm sorry. But what we are going to do is that I would like to get to know, the people here, those of you that have joined. So I have a Mentimeter thing that I've set up. I'll share my screen there now. All right. All right, let me start presentation. So if you all can just scan the QR code or go to menti.com and just enter this number, and then you'll be able to like vote on the polls. I have about 5 to 6 questions, or maybe 4 or 5 questions, I don't know, roughly 5 questions. So can we all just go there and then just vote, and then we can walk through the questions. Yes, thank you so much for pasting the number. So I'd just like to get a feel of the audience here. All right, so I can see, okay, just starting. Can we have some more? Okay, 1 to 3 years. Interesting. Okay. Let's see which one will win. Let's go. All right, so I can see. Oh, no one is less. Oh, okay, well. Anyone else? All right, I can see the numbers increasing. Thank you. So just go there and okay. How many on this call? Okay, we're roughly 30 something. So just going to give it a few more minutes before we move on. Oh, so interesting. Okay. So we have a lot of people between like 1 to 3 years. All right, so I'll wait a bit more for some more votes. Okay, so we have a lot of beginners. Nice. Actually, Machine Learning Lagos we have several programs. So this is something that you should check our social media platforms. We have programs for beginners that we roll out at different times in the year. So if you're looking for a community to do different things, to learn, to grow, you can also just keep an eye out on our social media. Okay, so I can see that we have a lot of people want between 1 to 3 years. That's quite good. That's quite good. So maybe when we get to 20 responses, I'll move on. So I need 2 more people. Okay. Wow. Okay. It's not moving from 18, no. 2 more people. We're 30 something on this call. Come on. Anybody else? Okay, it's not moving. All right, so I guess I'll just move forward so we don't waste too much time. Okay, 19. All right, so let's wait for the person to respond. Okay, so we balanced it out. Anybody else? Last one. Can we make it to 20? Okay, let's see. Yay, 120. So let's wait for the person to respond and let's see what it gets to. We're waiting for you, no pressure. Yay, just starting. So we have more beginners. All right, so we'll go to the next. So this is like a word cloud. So you can just share like a word to just show what your experience has been like. Has it been confusing? Has it been interesting? Has it been exciting? Has it been, thrilling? Nice. Lost. Hey. Sorry, I can relate, but don't worry, you'll be found soon. Exciting, yay, positive. So I can say tasking. Yes, you're very right. Mercurial, overwhelming. It can be. Or more. I understand. Superb, nice. Overwhelming. So many people wrote overwhelming. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, I can see it's been a mixed reality. Interesting. Someone said beautiful, superb, ongoing. Okay, the link. Just go to menti.com and then enter the number that you're seeing on the screen here. Like this number here. Go to menti.com. Yeah, thank you. I can see an emoji there. Sorry. Don't worry. All right, well, I can see 15. Okay, challenging. Someone said God. Sorry, I can understand. I think one sentiment that's shared by everybody is just that it can be tasking, it can be overwhelming. Like sometimes you don't even know what to do, where to start. And I think it helps to just have people to connect with people who are also in machine learning. So you can share your frustration at times, All you can say is, I understand. A few more responses. I can see that 17 of 22 people have responded. So you're achieving clarity. I love that. Eye-opening. Definitely. There's so much in machine learning to make you feel like you are constantly learning. You're learning every day. So yeah. But we can see that the standard word is overwhelming. It's true. It's not a lie. Okay. So I'll just give this like 1 more minute and then we'll move on to the next question. Thrilling, amazing, eye-opening. It is actually well, mixed reality, exciting, overwhelming. So we can say like the top 4 words are like tasking, overwhelming, amazing, exciting. So the sentiment is balanced. Beautiful. You can see mercurial again. Okay. Exciting, overwhelming. I can see that the excitement is getting more. I love it. Well done. All right. So I guess I'll move on to the next question now. All right. So are we ready? Yay. So now I want to just have an idea of like what everyone is interested in on the call. A mix of both. Okay. Research. Okay. We have professors in the house. Woo! Or research scientists. You don't not necessarily a professor. You can become a research scientist as well. And engineering. Okay. If you're not sure yet, it's also fine. It's also fine as well. ML research, industry. Okay. I can see a lot of people are interested in a mix. That's good. Research, good. All right. So let's see. Okay. Okay, you can see more people are interested in research. Yeah, we actually need more people in ML research. It's, I love to see it. All right. Anyone else? Okay, research. Research is leading. Anybody else? If you're not sure, it's fine. Put it there. There's an option for not sure. It's like everybody's sure. Wow. Okay, mix of both. Okay, can we have just a few more responses and then we'll move on? Oh, now we hit 20. Nice. A mix of both. Okay, so a mix of both is leading. So I guess we can move forward now. If there's anybody that wants to vote, it's going on. Votes 1. All right. So I guess we'll move forward. All right. So this part, I want names. The women that have inspired you in the AIML space, like if there's anyone that comes to mind, just like, so do you know what this would do? If you put the name on there and someone doesn't know the person, they can go and check them out and be inspired too. So share. So yeah, I'm waiting. Oh, wow. I'm shy. Feifei Lee, yes. If you're my leader, thank you. Okay, so I'm waiting for more responses. Okay. Yeah, you guys should check out Feifei Lee if you don't know who Feifei is. China, Zainab, woo! All right, so can we have more names? Bumi, yes, Bumi Akiremi. Yes, can we have more names? Money. God, I said woman, you said money. Okay, I can see some names that I'm even not familiar with that I will check. I can see Hina Lakaraju, so I'm going to check that person out as well. Chip, yes. So if you can see the names here, go on LinkedIn, type their names on Google, and you just check them out and be inspired. Maybe some part of their journey might actually help you. You don't know. So all right, so I can see some very nice names. Okay. Can see Iliri there as well. Can see Precious, beautiful. Okay. All right. So Zainab is inspiring me. It's ongoing. I love it. All right. So let's just get to like 20 responses and then we can move forward. Okay. I feel like 18 people are very constant, but let's get to 20, guys. We can do it. Okay. All right. So a lot of the names here, I'll repeat for the last time. A lot of the names here, please check them out. Chip, those beauty. There are so many other people that are here, but I'm the one running this thing, so I can't even put names here. But please do check them out. I think when Zainab was presenting, she mentioned someone, Dr. Joy. I don't know how to pronounce her surname. I apologize. Yes, Dr. Joy. Check them out. And I guess our slides will be made available, so you can go back and just check their names and follow them on their social media platforms. You actually learn a whole lot. All right, so I guess we can move forward. Now I guess this might be the final question. Yeah, this is the final question. So what problem would you love to see solved with machine learning or AI in general? Yeah. So let's just get our answers and then we can move forward to the next speaker. Healthcare. Yes, there are so many healthcare people on this call. Very good. Chemistry. Interesting. AI in science is actually like it's getting more and more interesting, to be very honest. So you should probably not give up on this chemistry that you mentioned. You should insecurity. Good. Skin and hair care. Good. Food, edge security and related engineering problems. Okay. Telecommunications. And I think the beauty of just the AIML space is that it has applications in so many. You can, once you're solid technically, you can always just, go into the area that you're really, really interested in. I think that's really beautiful. All right, agriculture, education, physics, food, sorry, where did I laugh? Nigeria. Okay. Um, exam malpractice, poverty, travel and logistics. So for anyone who's starting out, I hope you can see like the different areas that you can, go into if you really get passionate about any of them. So when it gets hard, just remember that there are many things you could do with your ML skills and all of that. Even if it's not technical, ML or technical AI skills, you can still do so much. Drug discovery, operational technology, food insecurity, edtech, oil and gas, money people, everyday life, business, electricity. There's so many areas. Okay, so I'll wait like 1 more minute and then I can move on. This is the final question, right? Yes, this is the final question. Anybody else? Anybody wants to? We're 18 before. Last person, please don't give up on us. Adio. Come on. Okay. I can see it moving. Okay. Infectious diseases. Interesting. Financial freedom. Good. Food waste. I love that. We're really thinking here. Okay. I can see Nigeria here. I refuse to talk. Money problem. People, what's going on? Financial freedom, healthcare. Okay. All right. So I guess we can move on now. So thank you all for engaging in this session, this icebreaker session. Now we just got to 19. Yeah. Someone added an emoji. Why? Okay. So I guess we can move on now. I'll stop sharing my screen now. Yeah. Okay. So now we'll be moving. Oh, I forgot I have to share this screen again. So it's not easy moderating. So now we'll be moving forward and we'll be having our community session, and that's where we'll be having our next speaker. So can I see some excitement? Just, Yes, thank you. Yay, thank you. All right. So now we'll be moving forward, and this is our next speaker. Our next speaker's name is Monserrat Onabajo. I hope I pronounced it well. Monserrat is a self-taught ML machine learning software engineer from Ogun State, Nigeria, with experience spanning robotics, edutech, golf tech, and healthcare. Our journey into AI was not a straight line. It was shaped by curiosity, community, and the willingness to figure things out before feeling ready. That's key. She has been an active member of communities, including Deep Learning Indaba, ALX, Women Tech Stars, and Women Tech Makers, which have been central to our growth as an engineer. A former writer who now lets her code do the talking. Monserrat is passionate about building technology that solves real problems across Africa and beyond. So with a round of applause, we can't hear you, but yes, thank you. Let's welcome Monserrat as she takes, the community section. All right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, hello.
Okay, let me start my presentation. I'm trying to join with my phone so I can use my video from there, but for some reason I can't join. Let me see if I can join now. Okay, I think I can see me now. So today I'll be talking about readiness, like be ready before you start anything, especially in machine learning or AI community. And I'll be talking about how community got me to where I am today. So my name is Monserrat Onabajo. I'm a machine learning software engineer. And so I have a question, everyone. Have you ever waited until you felt ready, like before doing something important? It can be anything in your life, really, not necessarily tech related. Can I see some hands up if this is you? Okay, a lot of people, yeah, most of us, but most of us are still waiting. So today I'm going to be like a motivational speaker. So I'll be talking about my experience and how not being ready got me to where I am today. So I'll be talking about my journey today. So my name is Monsurat Onubaji, like I said earlier. In I think 2021, tech started getting popular on Twitter during the COVID-19. I was a microbiologist. I was doing my NYC then. So I decided I was not doing anything. I was working in the lab at Niger State. So I was like, okay, let me just see what tech is about. Let me just go into it. Let me buy a course. I bought a course on Udemy. I can never forget the course. Zero to Mastery by complete Python course. They are always changing the year now. It is now Zero to Mastery complete Python course 2026 now. So that time was 2021. So I bought the course, I started learning tech. Then using the course, I was able to see what I can use Python to do. And I saw that machine learning is actually interesting. And there was a problem I was going to solve with machine learning also then. So I just decided, why not just go into machine learning, data science? So I went into that because I did not have any background in tech as I then. So keep that in mind, please. So after I finished my course on complete Python developer, I got another course, machine learning. But it was kind of weird because I'm jumping from Python to machine learning. I don't even understand how to do data cleaning, how to do data processing, all of those stuff. So that was when ALS started getting popular. So ALS had a course then, data science. So I took the course. And through data science, we have this community, or like ALS is like a test school. So there are like people in your cohort that you talk to that you can. So these people, because previously I was learning by myself, right? So now I can talk to these people. I can let them know where I am at. With this thing, is it really making sense? I don't understand what exactly is going on. So we have like this group chat that we still have their group chat today since then. So we have this group chat. We used to talk about what we are doing currently. At some point, we did a project, even though we did not really understand what we were doing then. So we did a project. We were just like doing some stuff that back then, if I had not done those stuff, I would not be where I am today. So after my ALX journey, then I got into Women Textile Fellowship. So it was through ALX. When you talk to people in your community, they let you know what is going on, like what is happening. Apply for this Women Textile Fellowship. After the fellowship, you get an internship kind of thing. So I applied for Women Textile Fellowship. So at the fellowship, we later found out that we are going to look for our internship for ourselves. But during the internship, during the ALX fellowship, during the Women Textile Fellowship, rather, I'm sorry, during the Women Textile Fellowship, we there are people that we follow on LinkedIn. We follow each other on LinkedIn. So there was a day I was on LinkedIn. I saw someone talking about. She was actually asking questions about an internship program out to children. So I didn't know what it was about. She was like, can she apply? She just started tech. I'm like, okay, let me read this. I went to the page. I read it. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Let me just apply for this thing. At that time, I didn't know that thing was like very competitive. Like maybe thousands, like 7,000 people will apply. They are going to pick only 60 something. I didn't know. So I just applied just because people on my LinkedIn community, they are applying. So I applied for the internship and I got in. So after I got in, I started working at a research lab at the University of London. So I worked there for 3 months. That was where I did my internship. Then from someone that did not have a background in tech, like this was like barely 2 years I joined tech, right? And if I had not met the people I met at ALX, I wouldn't have known about women texter. If I had not joined women texter, I wouldn't have known about outreach. So I wouldn't have even done my internship. So after my internship, I finished my internship. I started contributing to open source. Now we now have like much more advancements. We now know much more than we did before the internship, like people in my community. So it was during the internship I also learned about open seed. It was open life science then. So I started contributing to open source, started talking about what I do. I have like this community that I kind of run. I do not run, but it was like a group chat. We're not, whatever you're doing, you are talking about it on the group chat. And then what those people are doing, they are talking about it on the group chat. So everyone know what everyone is doing. And if you are interested, you can easily message the person that, okay, I want to do this thing that you are doing. How can I get into it? And there's no gatekeeping of knowledge. They tell you, some will even send you like everything that you need, like the link, the maybe they watch a YouTube video that helped them, they can just give it to you. Like without all those resources, right, I don't think it would have been easy for someone that is trying to do that thing to get it. So after that, I started talking about what I do. Then based on what I talk about, and when I got into outreach, so people were, okay, I think this guy is actually good. Okay, can you come work for a company that is Orangewood Labs? It is a robotic company in the US. So I started working for the company. I worked there for over a year and 5 months before the whole, okay, you have to come into office and visa issue. And so I had to like stop working there. So through Orangewood Labs, now I know more people. So they know this is what I do now. They know this is my capabilities. So when they get things, like they can just easily tell me that, okay, Monsurat, take this, apply for this. I am referring you. Sometimes you don't even do interviews again, just like get the position. So fast forward to the GovTech is supposed to come before the robotics, yeah. So I also did a GovTech project through Omdina. We developed like an AI chatbot for the German diplomats, government, I can't remember the full name of the office, but it was for their diplomat. They want their own internal documents. They want their own internal chatbot that is not exposed to. That was when ChatGPT first started making waves. So it was before the robotics time. So yeah. So that was also through ALX, because I got to know about that through ALX, right? Then after, I decided to start giving back to my community. So that was how I joined Women Techmakers. And I was able to join Women Techmakers because of the experience I had with my community, because Women Techmaker is actually a ambassador, rather. Women Techmaker ambassador is actually like a community based, like you have to have experience leading a community before you can join. And as a result of that, if I'm applying for maybe a conference, I can easily put it in my notes, that in my essay, that I'm a Women Technical Ambassador, and that also like gives me like a credibility. So also, I used to write technical documentation, be a technical writer, but life got busy, so I stopped doing that. So currently, I work in the healthcare sector. So I'm now like a software engineer. So how did I go from being a machine learning engineer to being a software engineer? Like ML software engineer, not like full software engineer. Like, so I was going to do research, because everyone that I've met previously, they are like, as a machine learning engineer, as a machine learning person. I didn't even know that there was a difference between machine learning engineer and machine learning researcher then. So it was too when I was talking to people that in my group, especially when I started going to deep learning Daba, that was how like I understand the main difference. That was when I knew that okay, to be a researcher, you have to study that course. You can't just come from microbiology and say you are going to be a machine learning researcher through doing some course. So it's just better to focus on the industry part. Just use the tools that this researcher already created. Both parts are important, right? So you can't have an engineer without a researcher. You can't have a researcher without an engineer because who will build the products and who will do all the whole calculation, the mathematics behind it. So they are like, both of them are important. Really sorry about that noise. There's a plane track around my house. So yeah. So that was how I joined deep learning Daba, and I started coming to deep learning Daba, and I got to know about the difference, the whole area of machine learning, software engineer, and I'm like, okay, I can just be a machine learning software engineer. And this my journey is not like straightforward, like will not be as straightforward like I'm just saying now, because if not for my community, like these people that are always like there to guide me, even sometimes I don't even think I'm ready for certain things, they'll be like, you can do it. Like my current job now, it is like more of a software engineer than being a machine learning engineer, but we still do some machine learning integration. Now we just use API. You no longer have to build from scratch. Like you can build up on what has been done before. So that way it will be less expensive and much more timely, and you are able to like I know your outcome even before you start, because you are building up from what already exists. So they are like, oh, you can do it. I think you can actually do it. This is something that you can do. And when I got the job, I realized that okay, this is something that I can do, because I doubt myself a little bit. Especially when I see the job description, like, oh my god, I can't do this, and just words, right? So readiness is like a moving target. Waiting for it can cost you everything. Like let's say for example, you have an opportunity to do something, like currently you're like, oh, I'm not ready for this, maybe I will apply next year, or I will apply to in 2 years time. In 2 years that opportunity might not be there again. In 2 years time, people might like, it might be more saturated, that it can be like very hard, like hard to apply for. Like currently now, I can't say I want to apply for Atuchi again, because now everyone, before it was like 7,000 people, now it's like 100,000 people wants to apply. Now imagine 100,000 geniuses, and we are not trying to like, oh, I want to apply for this. It is not as easy as it was back then. So getting into tech also, like now, like from scratch also, is much more easier than it was before. So like much more people are getting into it. So the best time you can do something, like the best time you can do something is now. Like it's yesterday. The second best time you can do it is now. It's like a saying that if you hear like about like, let's say for example, people are saying, oh, buy gold, that is like the worst time to buy it, because the best time to buy it is when they are saying, when nobody's talking about it. So when you are like, oh, I will be ready in 2 years time, except maybe health issue or some issues that you can't really not avoid. But if you're like, oh, I'm just starting, there's AI now that can help with everything. You can just prompt it and it does the work, and you are good. So why are you like waiting to be ready? Why not just start now, right? So I'm going to be talking about I've spoken about this before, about these communities that have helped me, like ALX, for example, they help to like structure for me, like they provide that structure that I needed, because learning alone is like really, really hard. And this is for people that they don't have the background before they start, like they are just starting and they are by themselves. It's actually good to have community, because if you don't have community, you might give up. You might just encounter a bug and be like, I'm not doing this again, because there's no accountability. Sometimes you do stuff not because you want to, but because people are watching. People are like, that person will feel. I'm sure this person will feel, and you have to like prove them that, oh, I'm not going to feel. I'm going to do this. So like that accountability, that people are watching this, that I don't want to disgrace my family. Like I don't want village people to be like they won. So like it's actually good to have like those community, like even it can just be like people around you, your friends, your family. Just let them know that, oh, I'm doing this thing. So when you feel of your own, this person, like I'm not trying to shit on my sister, right? So when she was traveling, I told her learn this tech, because she was going to Canada. She went to Canada in 2023. Then she called me like I think December last year. She was like, "Oh my God, someone came to Canada. The guy is earning 200,000 Canadian dollar. He's working from home, and he just came in like 6 months ago. I want to learn tech now." I'm like, now you are like feeling like I was nagging you then that you said you want to learn tech. Now you are seeing like the money, you're like, okay, now I want to learn it now. Now I know to learn now. If you had done it then, if you had been like accountable to me, because I was going to like be an accountability partner, it won't have like you won't even get to this, because by now you'd have been making your money like in tech space. And also that store accountability partner like is very important. Then another thing is contributing in public. People say build in public, build in public. When you are building in public, you know that people are watching. You don't want to like, okay, this person that used to post about this thing, you don't even know who is watching. That's the funny thing. Like for example, when I got my robotics job, I was a computer vision engineer at the lab then. So that time I used to post on Twitter. Then there's someone that used to like my post. Is like it's just like two people that like my post then. Even up to now, because I stopped posting on Twitter. So there are just like two people that like my post back then. I didn't know that these people were watching. So when there was an opening in their company, just message me, apply for this role. In your referral, put my name. So I had to just apply for the role, put the name. Then later I got the what's it called? I got the invitation letter. Not invitation letter, sorry. I'm trying to remember the test that you had, technical test. I got the technical test, and after the technical test, I did the interview. And during the interview, they mentioned one thing. Can you guys still hear me? I'm not sure if you can still be seen, because I lost my network on my phone.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, thank you. So I got the technical interview. Then the my interview actually mentioned that they were not going to like message me, because I don't have any robotics experience. But the person that asked me to write his name in my referral actually vouched for me that I know what I'm doing. Even though I'm coming from a software engineering space to an hardware space, I can still learn like and do what I'm supposed to do, because computer vision is more about software than hardware. You deploy it into the hardware, so they are like, okay, let's just give I a trial, and I was able to work there for over a year. because of that, because of something that they would have looked at my CV and be like, okay, this person is not suitable because she has not worked in a robotic space before. So when you build in public, people are watching, people are looking at, people are seeing it, right? Then also when I went to deep learning in Daba, I actually did my first deep learning in Daba. It was very funny because I didn't know what I was doing there. Someone sent me the link also for my community that apply for this, let's go to Ghana. Okay, yeah, let's go to Ghana, let's travel. Then I applied. I didn't even get the what's it called? I didn't get the travel grant, but I got an accommodation. But because of the excitement of I'm going to Ghana, I went. So when I got in that, I was very lost. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? This is my first conference ever. This is my first tech conference. This is my first exposure to like real people working in machine learning space, right? So I was very, very lost. But because I really like want people around me, I decided why not just do ideathon? At least if I do ideathon, I'm going to like have my own crew, my own friends that we can be working up and down together, going to lunch, going to dinner, just those people around you, because it is going to be lonely if I'm by myself. So because of that, we form a crew and then we started talking, and the idea turned that started like a joke actually got to something that was very serious, that we won. So that is also another like not being ready, but I did it anyways. I don't even know what I was doing, but I did it anyways. I talked about women technicals earlier, so I don't think women technical gave me visibility, like it gave me credibility. When I talk and I say I'm a women technical ambassador, people like listen to me. They listen to what I'm saying because they believe I know what I'm saying, because it's actually a big deal. So I did not find this community because I was ready. I did not even join this community because I think, okay, this is the next thing for me to do. This is the next thing I want to do. I became ready because I found this community, right? Because of the whole, now I'm a women tech maker ambassador. I have to behave like one. I have to start, being, give myself the credibility that the platform has given me. So I have to put in the work. That is the reason, like, that is how I became ready, like, because of these communities, right? So yeah, I think I talked about this already. So I signed up for I had no business entering. I didn't even know what we were doing, but I don't even know what Ideathon is all about, but with the community that we had, people we met, we were able to come up with something. There was times that after the conference, you still have to go to one person room, and we are like up all night solving the what's it called, the issues that we had, how to give the talk, how our slide should look, and we were able to build something in like less than 3 days. We presented it, but it was really like, I felt like, okay, this is actually something that is really nice, something that I can work more on after the ideathon. So like, one thing about communities, community doesn't wait for you to be ready. It creates the conditions that make starting possible. Like, let's say for example, you want to start, you want to do something, because even if you have no mind, like you have that you don't have that thought in mind to do that thing, because you see people doing it, you're like, okay, this is actually possible. I can do this thing. It's something that I can do. Then you talk to people, it makes that condition, it creates that condition that it makes starting possible. And because of that, you don't even have to like worry about starting from scratch, because the easiest way to do something is to know people that's already done it. So that way you don't make the mistake that those people have made in the past. You start from where they stop. You build up on their own experience. Like it is like they carried you. You know, when someone is walking and the person has learned how to run, then you don't have to walk again. You just start running from where that person stops, right? So readiness is like a byproduct of doing it. It's not like a prerequisite. So what community actually gives you is that permission to start. Nobody in my community, for example, waited until they were experts. Like people in my ALS group, people in my own community that I had, nobody there like waited until they are experts. They modeled showing up anyway, and that gave me permission to do the same thing. We don't have to like, okay, I have to finish doing this course before I can start building with Python. I have to finish learning Python, for example, before I can start building with Python. If we learn A as a then, we use it to do A, B, C, D, E. We even do stuff that at that time there was no AI, there was no cursor, there was no what's it called, like Claude. But now there's all these things. So why not just start? As long as you have the idea now, you can build a product. The only thing you need to learn is how to scale that, how to make it security compatible, so no one hacks your app. Just basic DevOps thing, and you can just take a course about that and just start. You don't need permission to start. Another thing is community will give you honest feedback. Let's say, for example, you are moving weird on LinkedIn. There's always someone that will message you that, okay, this your post is stupid though. You know, and you cannot fight them. Those people on LinkedIn will not tell you it is. They will clap for you, and in their mind, they'll be like, I'm never going to work with this person. But your people give you they will tell you the truth. There is no sugarcoating anything. Go and delete it now. Sometimes even before you post, you put on the group that I want to post this thing. Does it make sense? People will say, okay, add this, remove that. This thing is kind of controversial. Don't put it. You know, just that when people are saying it, they don't have like a negative opinion or what form an opinion that you did not even think they were going to form before you are posting it. So they are going to be accountable to you, and they are going to always give you honest feedback. They are going to always tell the truth. Another thing that community give is prove that you belong. You know, say people that looks like you, people that have the same background as you do. I used to say that if at that time that I was learning tech, I had met people I met when I went to Indaba. I would just come back home and go back to microbiology, because I'll feel like and where do I want to start from? But because these people, they are like me, they are also coming from different background. Even people that are coming from computer science say they don't really know what they are doing. Say they have not even like written a line of code when they were in university. It was when they are done with university that they now started writing like codes. And so it felt like all of us were in the same light. So it is now later that you now start, okay, I think I've evolved from this community. Let me move to a better community, a bigger community. And even while you are moving, because if you move alone, then your community suffers. So you also like move with them. You also tell them that, okay, there's this new community I'm in now. It's actually very nice. You can also come there and let's just see what is happening there. And before you know it, all of you guys are like in 10 different group chats. And those 10 different group chats are very important for your career. So what this means for you is that the permission you have been waiting for was never yours to give yourself, right? The women who will transform AI, they are not the one who waited to be ready. They are the ones that started anyway. They start anyhow. They are not the one that say, oh, I have to finish this course, I have to do that course. Doing course is actually good. Like, without courses, I don't think I will know anything. But you don't just do course. You do a course, give yourself a breathing space. Make sure you use that course to do something. Then you can now start another course. When you start that other course, make sure it is kind of like a parallel line to the previous course that you had. For example, you don't do software engineer or machine learning, then you say your next course is cybersecurity, or your next course is cloud computing. You have a goal, even though it is still okay. I want machine learning engineer. Okay, for machine learning engineer, let me do maybe a specialization. For example, let me plug my laptop. Just give me a minute, please. I didn't know that was that slow. Okay, so they are like you are not like doing a course that is like similar to that course that you had, like a specialization, like I want to specialize in computer vision. So that way you are still in that part that you are in, because jumping from a part to another part, all in the name of I'm building I'm building a career, doesn't make sense. Before you start getting a hang of what you're doing, it is like you are not doing anything, because now you have to start all over again in cybersecurity. You have to start all over again in another course. So you have to like, it has to be linear but still like connected. And when you are done with machine learning, you do like a project on machine learning. You post it, you let people talk about it, listen to feedback. By then, okay, let me do another project. And if you feel like there's another thing that you need to learn, you can just easily start from that. And based on what you have known in the past, I just do that other course anyway. So I'm going to like give you like an activity to do this week. I'm not going to come to ask you for the feedback, but these are like things that you can do this week. Like, number one is apply for the thing you don't feel ready for. Like, even if you are like, okay, I'm not ready for this thing, apply anyways. That application will teach you more than the rejection will ever teach you. Because, for example, now, when I was working at the robotics lab, I was asked to apply for a conference, the ROSCON conference that was happening in Singapore. I just started tech I just started robotics. I started using was like 5 months when my boss asked me to apply for that, my direct project manager. So I did apply for it. It was like, have you applied for that? Have you applied for that? I just said, okay. At the end of the day, the highest thing they can say is no. And I'm not even interested in going anyways, because at the conference they said they were going to I was going to do my visa processing myself, and I don't have the energy for all of those. So I just decided to apply. Why not just apply? Nothing's going to happen, right? Then they decided that I'm worthy, and they gave me the scholarship. So when they gave me the scholarship, I was, oh my God, now I have a scholarship. How am I going to do with my visa thingy? Then one community that I'm in, it is like a community of tech sisters, like Muslim sisters, because I'm a Muslim. My name is Monsirat. So it's the community of tech Muslim sisters. So I went to we had this information book. I saw like 3 people living in Singapore. I messaged like one of them that, oh, I'm coming to Singapore can you help me with my visa application? Because as a Singaporean, you can actually help someone to apply for visa. You don't even have to step out of your house, it's online. So she said, yeah, why not? Why not? She did the application for me. If I was not in that community, I might have not gone for that. I wouldn't have even gone for the conference. If I was not working, like putting myself out there, I wouldn't have known about Orangewood Labs. I would have known about the conference. So these are like, what would I call, like, trying to find the words, series of stuff that have happened, that if this have, if or else statements, decision trees, if this has not happened, I would have gotten this. If this have not happened, I would have gotten this, right? So apply for the thing that you don't feel ready for, that you don't even think you are ready for. Apply for it. Another thing is find one community and show up consistently. You are not there to network. Sometimes I'm just in community, I'm not even talking, I'm just there. Like, I'm just looking at what they do, what the community is about, how I can contribute, or how I can benefit. And if I don't have all of this yet, I'm just there. And whenever I feel like, okay, I'm ready to start contributing, or I'm ready to, gain from this group, or I'm ready to give back to this group, then you can just, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that on the group chat. And one thing about communities, even if you don't, even if you're not like an active, like person in the group, if you're just a member, they will always show up for you, no matter what. They will always show up for you. They will always, work with you, listen to you, and just anything that you want. Yeah, like that, that unpaid mentorship. Yeah, that unpaid mentorship that is just there available for you. You can just learn in public. You can just be there, just learning, just seeing what they do. Just show up. Just whenever they drop a message on the chat, read it. If it concern you, you can just maybe respond to it. If it doesn't, just leave it. Being a community member doesn't mean you have to, like, because I notice that most people, they're like, oh, if I'm a part of community, I have to contribute actively to that community, and I don't have that energy yet. I have things that I'm doing. I can't afford this. No, you can still be in the community and not do anything, right? So another thing is, you can build something small and share it. It can be like a notebook, a blog post, a tiny model. Just ship it. Just talk about it. Just, before you know it, you start getting traction, people start knowing you. And once people start knowing you, then everything, start getting easy for you, because sometimes you don't even need to know about something again. People bring it to you that, I know you're interested in this thing, check this out. I know you're interested in that thing, check it out. So, yeah. So where do you find your own community? You don't need to find a community. No community is even perfect. Like, for example, you can go to Deep Learning Daba. Deep Learning Daba, I think the application is open currently, and it is happening in Lagos this year. So you can just apply for it. You can check out ALX Africa. You can check out Open Seed. It is like an open science. If you are interested in science and in open source, then it is like you are contributing to real open science, like NASA, real important work in open space. Carpentries, they have like different branch, different important people are like in open sea, like Sioban, for example. Sioban is in deep learning in Daba. So there was a time they were chatting on open seed. I saw it and I'm like, oh my god, Sioban is also here. Like, you will be hearing, oh, I'm chief of NASA, I'm this, I'm that. I'm just like in one corner because who am I? So you can just be there and just be like anytime you need help, just tell them, oh, I need this. You can need a recommendation letter and someone can just be there, to give you that their name carries weight in that field. They will
Sorry.
give you.
Hi, Monserrat. We kind of have to, round up.
Okay, yeah. So I think this is the last slide. Just let me just round up. So yeah, so you can also like join local AI meetup. And yeah, thank you for listening. My takeaway is start before you are ready. Find your people and build anyway.
All right, thank you so much, Monserrat. That was very, very informative, and I don't even need to repeat anything you said because we're also out of time. But you said so many things that I could relate to and also like learn from. And one thing I'll just do is apply for that opportunity that I told myself that, oh, I'll wait till I'm ready. Okay. So not to waste, I don't think we can take questions now, but if you do have questions, please just drop them in the chat box because we have to move on to the next session. So if you have any questions for her, we can always just take it. Or Montserrat, if you are happy to share your email, so if anyone has any specific questions, they can just send it to your email and you can connect with them, respond and everything because we don't really have that much time left anymore. Okay, so we'll be moving to our final session for today. And okay, I should share my screen. Okay, so we'll be moving to our final session for today, and that's the fireside chat. And our speaker today is, I hope I pronounce it well, Ileri Oluwakiye Abolade. So Ileri is a machine learning researcher focused on medical imaging, robustness, and fairness in low-resource healthcare. I work on structure-aware pediatric X-ray denoising, Sharp XR, and African MRI segmentation, has received recognition at MICCAI and NERA PS workshops. She's passionate about building inclusive AI systems that address real-world healthcare inequalities, especially in Africa. So with a round of applause, again, how we do it, just the reactions and all of that. Please let's welcome Ileri as we have the fireside session. Okay.
Oh yeah, hi. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear me well before
Yes,
I
I
proceed?
can. Can you hear me? I'm having
Oh,
some.
all right. Oh, okay. I think you're muted. I can't hear you anymore. But yes, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm very, very excited to be here. I think I've seen a lot of familiar faces, familiar names, like my boss Ifi on the chat. So yeah, it's really amazing to be here. I'm very excited to be here. And I think the time we have like just 11 minutes into the session and I have like somewhere to be after this. So I'm really excited to like just like answer the questions that they have for me today. So thank you so much. I think you're muted. I don't know. No, I can't hear you. I can just read your lips.
We can hear you.
All right, sorry, it was glitching for a bit. I don't know what happened. Okay, so we can just go straight to the fireside questions now. So to start with, the first thing I tried to just learn a bit about you before coming here today. So I might be asking some very contextual questions. So the first thing I remember is that you went from mechatronics to medical imaging AI. So for someone who thinks say you have people who think that ML research is only for computer science or you've done a lot of CS, what would you say to them? Like, how did you go from mechatronics to medical imaging and what you do now?
Oh, all right. So one thing I would say to that, firstly, I'm guessing everybody here is Nigerian. So if you're Nigerian, I think it's very obvious that like most of our courses here, they're not as like structured or like practical as courses abroad. So you are very, very not limited to what you're learning in school. I think it's very like there are a lot of resources out there, like so many. You can just decide to like wake up one day and just start learning like something new and going out of your way to learn it. So I think one thing I would say is there's really no limit to the knowledge you can get, especially now that the internet is out there. I think it's
Okay.
just very easy to just like start something, especially I think one of our former speakers was talking about community, and I think she also like transition. So you can leverage communities to literally do like whatever you think you're actually passionate about, even if it's outside your course.
Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. And just like she said, you can build on everything that's been said today and just like work from there. Okay, another question I have for you is like, so what is like doing research from Nigeria? When consider things like power, internet, compute, like what does it take really? Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's no surprise that it actually takes a whole lot. But I think it's instead of focusing on the like negative side of things, I know that I've had to deal last year. So I was doing my internship last year, like my IT. And then I know that like after my IT, I'll literally go outside to like look for where there's like power supply, just so that I'm like getting some work done. So just literally like so I know there are like a lot of problems. Like learning is hard in itself. And then you're like Nigerian, you have network issues like can you hear me, you have like a lot of other issues like even compute. I know,
Yeah.
okay, for Google Collab now, I know if you're like in a university in the US, you have like access to almost unlimited compute like on Google Collab. But if you like try to sign in with like a Nigerian school, it will literally like just hit you with the paywall. So these kind of like limitations are literally like everywhere. But I think one thing to do is instead of focusing on the limitations, I think it's very nice to like sort of use this to your strength. Um, for example, my research now focuses on like low resource context. So I feel like because we have more limitations means we have more problems waiting to be solved. So low-key, you have like a lot of like growth opportunities. So as like a person here, you have more problems that you can actually focus on. And I think most of that is what my research has been centered around as well. So instead of focusing on the limitations, I think it would just be very lovely if you try to like use everything to your strength. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So I think my next question is then a bit more about, like AI in healthcare in Africa and what that looks like. So when you think about the future, what does meaningful progress in AI in healthcare in Africa look like beyond just like building models? Like what's being done right now? And where do you think we can get to? What do you think that looks like in next few years? And maybe sell it to people who are not in AI in healthcare right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very amazing question. So I know one of the things I would love to see like in the coming years is one thing I know is a lot of people in Africa are very like closed off to AI. I've had like conversations with like medical doctors here in Nigeria, and you speak to them about artificial intelligence, and all of them are just like immediately hitting with you with no, we are not interested. Like there was this yeah, so my mom works at UCH. I don't know if you know UCH, but it's like one of the biggest hospitals in Nigeria. So I think I was trying to like just pull strings to like get some data sets so that I could like build like more models for like here. And then I was speaking to a lot of doctors and all and telling them about the ideas that I had, why these ideas are important. And like most of them were just like very closed off to it. Like they were literally very closed off. And the ones that were not, I know some people wanted to, and then they would just tell me that, yeah, this is like you pouring water in a basket. Like people here in Nigeria literally, like even if they like have access to this data set, they have to go through this process that has almost made it impossible for you to get like a lot of these things. So I think one progress I would like to see, or one thing I envision for the future of like Africa is like us being more like open-minded towards growth, I would say. Yeah. So that's like one of the things I'm looking forward to actually.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that would be lovely to just see like a lot of things that you just shared, like put in place. Okay, so I have two more questions because I'm really looking at the time, and I think you know we might have touched on this briefly, but I just want to like repeat so in case anybody who did not hear can just get some clarity. So I saw that you currently do research with like ML Collective, and you contribute to projects that get recognized internationally. And we already talked about communities, but I just want to specifically ask that for you, like how do you find or like create those kind of opportunities to do research at that level that that's international and all of that?
Okay, so I'm so sorry. So if I'm like getting your question well, are you asking for how I like got access to these communities or how I got
Yes,
access to?
exactly how you find like yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was mentioning last year about how I had to like after like my IT, like just going out, like looking for light. So I think for one, like being very aware of the limitations as in Nigeria and actually helps you a lot. Like you definitely know that you can't do these things yourself. I think and I think there's something that really helped me in my journey, which is like collective, should I say collective progress? So I think when I wanted to start my ML journey, I had a call with someone and I'm like, yeah, like one of my mentors, and I'm like, I really want to like do a lot of meaningful work. Like I really want to like network with a lot of people. I remember that I texted like a lot of people, like I really want to like network with people. I want to be known internationally, things like that. And then the person just looked at me and is like, no, you're doing it the wrong way. Like you
Mm,
like if you focus on making impact, the opportunities will literally be running to you.
mm,
And I think that's something that's really helped me. So I feel like my journey has just been like I just focus on my work. Like the first work I did, that was the one that got recognized as South Korea in Mikai. So I know I was doing it like I spent like 6 months. I first spent like 3 months, then I think I had like a, should I say, failure in quotes, and then I like had to restart, and then but then I know that when it got accepted, like, and I was like speaking about it, like I could just tell that this was going to like open a lot of opportunities for me. Like immediately I was presenting my paper, like I had like a lot of conversations. Like people literally walk up to me. There was this person I saw, there was this professor. He doesn't even know that I like follow him on social media and all of that. So he just walked up to me and he's like, "Oh my God, you're very passionate about what you do. Would you like a recommendation for your grad school applications anytime you're applying?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, wow, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know these things come like this. And then
wow.
like after that, like another opportunity just like opened somewhere else. And then just do one thing. Just make sure you focus on your work. Like once you have that credibility, I think it's just easy to attract opportunities. And then like just
Mm,
that one opportunity, like since I just did like that work consistently, I feel like my life has just been going like very like a geometric progression. Let me put it that way. Yeah, so
wonderful.
that's okay.
Wow, thank you. I learned a lot from that. Okay, so now the final question, because I know we're out of time. So
Okay.
for someone who is interested in like AI in healthcare, and is on this call today, what's one thing that I'm asking for them on their behalf now? What's one
Okay.
thing you wish someone had told you when you started? Do you get like that you'd like to tell them?
So I think one thing I would like to say, this sort of builds on what our like previous speakers have spoken about. I think I liked what Zainab said about like building for people, and I also like what Onobanjo said about not waiting to have everything figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think so I have a lot of like meetings with some of my mentees, and they're like they want to start research, and you see a lot of them like just putting a lot, like reading a lot, like literally going through tutorial L just to know everything. So I think one thing is you don't have to figure everything out. Just focus on the problem you're trying to solve. I think research, as the name implies, is practically like doing something new that nobody has ever done before. To be like to be very good in the field that you're doing, you need to like spend a lot of time on that particular thing. So I think you don't have to have everything figured out. And I think there was something also I took from Atomic Habits that helps me. Atomic Habits is like a book I read every single year, like before my year starts. So yeah, like the old just making 1% progress every day is literally the change you don't know you need. There was one of my friends that, so I think we're on like a very short break in school, and then she was like ranting to me about her career, how she didn't like how it was turning out, and like she doesn't have enough time, like balancing school, because I'm also in school, right? So like balancing school and your career and all of that. And then I was like, okay, we have like 14 days left to resume, right? Like we have just a very short break. We have 14 days, that's 2 weeks to resume. So how about you just like not focus on anything? Like I think it's easy to like just focus on social media and be seeing people's wins and not now focus on like the tiny progress you're supposed to be making every single day. So I'm like, okay, just clear all of that off your head. Like just focus on yourself and what you want to achieve. Like just spend an hour like doing stuff every single day. And I remember that at the end of that 14 days, like our progress was very crazy. I remember her like having a call with me and she's like, oh my God, I didn't think I could do like this much in just 2 weeks. And it's actually like that. I remember that like 2024, I think that was the year I first attended the deep learning in Daba. So I had like so I think my laptop like spoiled, and I had like a lot of like back and forth with like bad laptops. And then when I was coming back to like the tech space, I just felt like, oh my God, everybody had made so much progress and I'm like very far behind in life generally. And then I was speaking to someone and it's like, no, just focus on yourself. Like 3 months of work will actually really put you up there. Like I think people underestimate like the work they have to do. Let me put it that way. Like just do something like every single day. Making a progress every day will literally be the change you are supposed to see in your life. So I think that's like all I have to say about that actually. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elaine. I really learned a lot from everything that you said. And so please, can we just like emojis, reactions? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we have come to the end of today's International Women's Day event. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me still share my screen. And just, I hope that you have all learned a lot. I hope that you've taken away things that you can go apply in your machine learning journey, and just so that this time next year you're coming back with so much more. You're coming back better. You're coming back. Remember, 1% improvement every single day. I think that's really powerful what she just said. Okay, so we have an upcoming session, Machine Learning Lagos. I already introduced what Machine Learning Lagos is. If you don't know, please, just go and check our social media, ML in Lagos. So we have an upcoming session, it's our technical session. So we have technical sessions every month, and it's on the 30th of March by 6 p.m. And it's going to be on evaluating automatic speech recognition systems for African languages. So we have these sessions across like the month, every month, and just so people can learn. So we're one of the communities you can join in case you're not a part of our community, or one of the communities you can join to, grow in your ML journey. And like I said, go check out our social media and follow us for more events, more programs. We have a lot more that we are planning, events, programs, just to help people grow, build, and just be better in their machine learning journey. So yes, finally. So thank you all for joining today. Thank you all for listening, engaging, asking questions, and just being here till the end. I can still see like over 30 people on the call. Thank you so much for joining. I had a lovely time hosting, and my name is Busola. You can see my full name, but everyone will struggle to call my full name. You cannot say Busola. And yeah, bye. Bye.